You probably have a plan B for your life right now, don't you? A safe job to fall back on, a comfortable routine to retreat to if your real dreams don't work out. But here is the brutal truth. That safety net is exactly what is guaranteeing your failure. When you have the luxury of giving up, you eventually will. Over 2,000 years ago, a 22-year-old king conquered the known world by doing the exact opposite. Today, we are going to learn why true legends never leave themselves a way out. Imagine standing on the shores of a foreign land. You are thousands of miles away from home, facing an enemy empire that outnumbers you in unimaginable ways. The Persian army is vast, well-equipped, and waiting to crush your ambition. Your men are terrified. They are looking over their shoulders at the boats that brought them there, calculating the fastest route to retreat. This is human nature. When faced with overwhelming adversity, the human mind instinctively searches for the nearest exit. But Alexander of Macedon was not interested in human nature. He was interested in immortality. Upon landing in Asia, he gave his commanders a legendary order that would echo through history forever. Burn the ships. Think about the psychological magnitude of that command. As the massive wooden hulls went up in flames, a profound shift happened in the minds of his soldiers. The safety net was gone. There was no plan B. They were either going to conquer the greatest empire on earth, or they were going to die in the sand. When failure is no longer an option, the human spirit unlocks a level of ferocity that logic cannot explain. They fought like demons, and they won. Now look at your own life. How many ships have you kept securely docked in the harbor of your mind? We optimize our lives for approval and safety. We work jobs we hate to buy things we don't need, effectively building a prison of comfort. You want to start a business, but keep your mediocre job just in case. You want to demand respect, but keep apologizing to toxic people just to avoid conflict. You are failing because you have the luxury of failing. Tyler Durden understood this dark reality perfectly when he stated that it is only after we have lost everything that we are free to do anything. Comfort is a trap. Miyamoto Musashi spent years wandering and sleeping outdoors because he knew that distraction and comfort were too expensive. You must adopt the path of the lone wolf and eliminate your safety nets. If you want to conquer your personal empire, you must identify the backup plans keeping you weak and burn them to the ground today. In 333 BC, Alexander marched his army into the city of Gordium. In the center of the city sat an ancient chariot tied to a pole with an impossibly complex knot. A prophecy had echoed across the lands. Whoever could untie the Gordian Knot would become the undisputed ruler of all of Asia. For centuries, kings, scholars, and tacticians tried to find the hidden ends and reverse engineer the logic of the puzzle. Everyone failed because they were playing by the rules the knot dictated. Alexander approached the chariot. He didn't squint or analyze. He didn't waste time trying to untangle the mess others had created. He simply drew his sword and slashed the knot cleanly in half. The scholars were shocked. But reality doesn't care about the rules of the weak. Reality bows to the will of the strong. Alexander realized a fundamental truth. If a system is rigged against you, you do not try to beat the system, you destroy it and create a new one. How much of your life is spent trying to untie the knots society handed you? You wait in line. You ask for permission. You wait for someone to validate your existence. Muhammad Ali understood the flaw in this completely. He didn't wait until he had the championship belt to call himself the greatest. He lied to his ego until reality had no choice but to catch up. He didn't untie the knot of public opinion. He cut through it with unshakable identity. If you are stuck in a career or mindset that feels impossibly tangled, stop trying to gently unravel it. Stop trying to please everyone. Sometimes, the only way forward is to draw your sword, make a brutal choice, and cut the cord. The people who change the world never follow the rules flawlessly. They realize the rules were made up by people no smarter than themselves. Conquering Persia was enough to make Alexander a legend. He was the richest, most powerful man on the planet. He could have lived out his days in unimaginable luxury. But he pointed his sword further east, toward the unknown edges of the map. He marched his men through freezing peaks and deep jungles to face enemy kings riding war elephants. Why did his men follow him into hell? Because Alexander possessed the madness of an absolute vision. People are not inspired by realistic goals. Nobody wakes up with a burning fire in their chest to achieve a slightly better credit score. People are inspired by the impossible. Alexander didn't just point the way, he bled for it. During a siege in India, when his troops hesitated, Alexander grabbed a ladder, climbed the wall alone, and jumped down directly into the enemy stronghold. He took an arrow to the lung, but his men were so inspired by his audacity that they breached the gates to save him. True leadership projects a vision so powerful that it overrides the survival instincts of everyone around you. Tesla's vision was larger than what the system could carry, prioritizing free energy over his own financial gain. Frida Kahlo lived in a state of perpetual wreckage, but took the weight of 35 surgeries and transmuted it into gold, refusing to let the pain define her. Alexander transmuted his ambition into a physical reality that reshaped the globe. If you are struggling to find motivation, your vision is too small. You are playing it safe. Define a purpose so massive that it demands you become a completely different person just to attempt it. Stand like a marble statue against the noise of the crowds and listen only to the golden voice of your soul. Let your vision be the madness that cures your mediocrity. Alexander the Great died in Babylon at the age of 32. He conquered the known world in less than a decade. When he was on his deathbed, his generals asked him, "To whom do you leave the empire?" Alexander whispered, "To the strongest." His life was brief, violent, and magnificent. Bruce Lee also collapsed and died at the exact age of 32. Bruce Lee didn't leave a lifetime. He left an idea, and ideas do not die. The universe does not care how long you live. It only cares about what you build while you are here. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you could leave this world right now, and you should never let that truth leave your mind. Time is like golden dust flowing through your fingers, and you do not have the luxury to waste it on small troubles. Memento Mori is not a feeling of sadness. It is a violent call to live life fully. Alexander lived with desperate urgency. He knew time was the only enemy he couldn't defeat with a sword. He didn't put off his conquests for next year. Every moment is a golden hammer strike on your marble block. Whatever you are doing right now, do it as if it is the most important work in the world. You do not have 500 years to figure this out. The clock is ticking, and the world does not care about your excuses. History does not remember the men who stayed safely on the shore. It remembers the ones who set the boats on fire. Are you going to keep your plan Bs and your comfortable excuses? Or are you going to burn the ships? If you are ready to conquer the empire of your own mind, subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below and declare it. What ships are you burning today? Guard your mind, honor your ambition, and never bow down. Mindset of Legends.